I have been so excited to watch this documentary. So excited. The fact that it spans 6 years of Selena Gomez's life is incredible. I feel like that's how all great documentaries should be, is spanning a very, very long time. But it's just rare for someone to allow a cinematographer into their life in that way. And if anyone was going to do it, I'm not surprised that it's Selena Gomez, because she's always been so open. Not really in a, this is my private life, let me tell you everything type of way, but on a like human level type of way. So it just makes sense to me that she would be open to doing this kind of documentary, and I'm so happy that she is. Yeah, I'm just really excited to watch this. I know that I'm in for a lot with this one. I know that from what I've seen of people talking about it, and even interviews of like Selena talking about it and how the interviewers are treating her in those interviews, it's like, okay, this is going to be an emotional one. And given all of, I think specifically the medical history of what Selena has been going through as far as we know, when it comes to the headlines again, it definitely sounds like this is going to be a somber toned documentary, just because of how much has been going on for her behind the scenes medically. I have been a Selena Gomez fan since I remember going and buying her first record with Disney when she was Selena Gomez in the Scene. I remember going to the Kmart, I think, and my mom buying that for me when I was like maybe 11 years old. Yeah, I was a big Wizards of Waverly Place fan. Everyone loved like Hannah Montana. I love Miley Cyrus. I think she's so cool. I went to a Miley Cyrus concert, and it might be the favorite concert I've ever been to. But when I was younger, it was always Selena Gomez for me. So yeah, I've been a Selena Gomez fan for, God, like 14 years now, which is crazy. And so I think it's really cool that she's allowing people to see this little slice of her life. And I'm nervous to watch it because I feel like it's possible I might cry. People say this is a crier, so. But I'm hoping by sharing this video and doing a reaction to this documentary that maybe I can find other Selena Gomez fans, because I've found that a lot of the time Selena Gomez fans are just really nice, genuine people. So hi, if you're watching this video, you're probably a Selena Gomez fan. Say hi, and wish me luck on this little documentary journey.
Let me make a promise. I'll only tell you my darkest secrets. Everything I ever wished for, I've had and done all of it. But it has killed me. Because there's always Selena.
If I was a guy, I could wear jeans and just switch up my t-shirt and put a beanie on and nobody would care. Actually,
Honestly,
I think
though,
the breasts are good. I want to have the body to wear it proudly, and then I want the booty that I don't have. My body's very young. I don't want to be like, oh, wait.
She just has something
Making sure I look like a woman and not like a 12-year-old boy.
oh my gosh. It's just crazy. Like, I know that she's human and she has insecurities too, but it's just so crazy to hear, because I just imagine, I put her on a pedestal in every way. Me crying to the song when I was like 13.
It just sucks. All of it. It looks so bad. When am I gonna be good just by myself, not needing anybody to be associated with? Like, it's so...
You already are.
Hi, John.
I would want nothing more than to not be my past, and it comes back.
You're your own worst enemy right now.
Girl, Revival Tour was iconic. I loved Revival Tour. Revival was such a good era. And I imagine that her current self, like future self, understands that she was being hard on herself in this moment, but it's still hard to see, you know. And like hearing her talk about, oh God, I'm already gonna cry 5 minutes in. Like feeling, or hearing her talking about how she just wants to be enough on her own. That's hard to hear too. That she thinks she's not at that point, you know?
It's usually 150, 145 to the bottom number being 100, which means I could have a stroke.
Got it.
Scary.
I'm 13.
Oh, my Lanta.
I've been celebrating your birthday every year since I was 3. I've had birthday parties, cakes, playlist, everything. You're so sweet.
And keep it Bay #1 right there.
Oh,
Yeah, I got like different girls.
Oh, the infamous clip of her crying during Who Says. If you're a fan, you know this clip.
Did Justin Bieber make it on rehab?
Justin has a new girlfriend.
Are you jealous, Selena?
Jesus.
Let's go back to drinking. Selena, where's the alcohol? Did you start drinking again? How are you feeling about Justin?
Are you depressed?
Are you depressed? They scream in her face.
At one point, she's like, I don't want to be alive right now. I don't want to live. And I'm like, wait, what?
She didn't want anything to do with me, and I was scared she was gonna die.
Psychosis can last from days to weeks to months to years to life.
That's the scariest part, not knowing when it's gonna end.
The bipolar disorder.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to go to a mental health hospital. That's why I say to people that I have the greatest friends and family, especially my mom and my stepdad, Brian. I shouldn't have spoken to them the way that I did, and I shouldn't have treated them the way that I did sometimes. And then they know it wasn't me, so then when I wake up the next day, they explain to me, they're like, look, I know that that's not you talking, and we're really concerned, and just know that we love you. And I say, I'm so sorry. Because I remember certain things that I did. And I was really so mean. Priscilla's my cousin. Probably the closest person to me in the world except for my mom. To this day, she's my life.
That's really cool.
She's my blood.
That's really cool to have someone like that.
I have to hug him. He's gonna cry. I'm such a big fan. You're welcome.
One really kind of cool thing about being in a position like her is being able to just give a hug and that be the biggest thing in the world for someone.
I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and that's when I found out I booked Barney.
Oh.
You're on the phone. And there's a picture of me in here.
Oh.
I don't know, I just fell in love with these escape things.
Mm-hmm.
Then I never stopped.
I used to come here when Joyce lived here.
Selena Gomez?
Yeah.
There's the dollhouse, Selena.
Hey, that's the dollhouse. Don't get up.
I can't get up, baby.
I remember when we'd come over here and me and Charlie would give you a hard time.
Okay.
You would let us come in, we'd have cookies, and I'd get to go right there.
That's what I was waiting for you to say about cookies.
No, I remember.
You're sick too.
Oh, it's okay. We all get through.
Thank you so much.
I hope you have a great day. I'll be praying for you.
Okay, thank you.
I am happier, I am healthier, and I'm in control of my emotions and thoughts more than I have ever been. So I'm very happy about that. Thanks.
I attempted almost 3 years ago in October, and I remember just, thank you.
Being honest that night helped. I texted Julia Michaels and Justin Tranter and said, I think I'm ready to just say I'm sad. We wrote the song in 45 minutes. Everything was so public.
Any comment on Justin Bieber's engagement? What's your favorite thing about Justin Bieber?
The worst possible heartbreak ever. And ultimately, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
And ultimately, so your message is...
You didn't even hear me say it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm sorry,
You just
say it
started
again.
talking. No, I can't say it anymore.
Please, one more time.
No.
My mom told me that they want me to be married off, but at some point they said that since you got a school where you got a scholarship to go and learn, for them they don't pay any fee, so they told me you're not going to be married off.
Like having a boyfriend or such. So for me, I'll get one when I'm done with my high school. Because I don't want to split my mind.
You think he liked me? How old? We're both 27. Selena likes younger guys. Oh my god!
The heck?
My mom was not able to raise school fees for me to go to the campus. So I had to stay home 6 years, just fetching firewood, collecting water, and doing some home chores. So I felt so discouraged and so hopeless. So I went to the river, and when I felt that, let me just drown myself into this river, end it here, so that I will never see my mother suffer. If I end my life now and I'm the firstborn in my family, what example will I have shown to my family? After 2 weeks, I was called for an interview here at the Wee College. Wow. Just a miracle. But look at me now. I'm a role model in my community.
I'm so happy to know you.
It's an honor for me to know you too.
I just think, you know, when you're a kid and you're in kindergarten, they ask you, like, how you're feeling. There's like a smiley face or a sad face, and they're learning emotions. But then why would we not continue to talk about that?
Very
Feelings
true.
only get more complicated, and it gets harder to navigate.
What's holding you back from doing it?
That I'm not able to. That I'm not capable. You know? I'm not good enough.
The very thing that makes you feel that is why you can relate to others. So it's the exact reason why you are the perfect person.
We also need to talk about like why you hate going home so much, why you don't want to turn on your phone. Like that's, you shouldn't feel that way. In a way that's just escaping reality, do you know what I mean?
Or is this reality?
This isn't reality. This is their reality. This can be reality a few times a year.
And I want to give you a hug and wrap you in a blanket and just talk about boys forever.
I think the point of the song is so that I really don't need to sit around and talk about boys.
Yeah.
One DJ equals one word. Marshmallow.
Fluffy.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks.
What the heck?
Those are some weird
It just seems like such a waste of time.
Yeah, honestly.
Here's my ride. The night we get back. No, I'd rather do what I'm doing. I'm not going to that. I have to do shoot a music video the next day.
It'll be good. It's
No, it is good, but you know, you're gonna be kind of messed up for a few days.
Yeah, totally. Just thought you would want to come with
I
us.
would, but I'm not gonna have one day to adjust. Do you think that I'm complaining about my job?
Yeah, you sounded like you were.
I was not complaining about work. I was literally just complaining that it'd be nice if I get more sleep.
I know, like, obviously I'm a Selena fan and I don't mean to be biased, but like I don't think that she was complaining in any way.
I just was asking, are you good? Because you don't seem happy.
I'm having fun.
Good. I'm so happy you're having fun. Like, it doesn't seem like it to me. So I was just asking you.
I'm probably going to devote most of my life to philanthropy.
Okay, that's good for me.
Wow, appreciate it.
I know. Thank you very much.
Felt like you really understood. All right, are we good? And then she didn't even pay attention to what I was saying. I don't want to do that ever again. I feel like a product.
Breaking news about We Charity, the organization at the heart of the latest ethics investigation involving Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
The COVID-19 pandemic was beginning to cut us all off from friends and family. And the purpose I had found in Kenya felt like it had been taken away. Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse. It did.
Oh, no.
My lupus.
In the morning when I wake up, I immediately start crying because it hurts.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't want to be super famous. I don't want to be all that stuff. But I do know that if I'm here, I have to use that for good.
Part of my heart is still in Kenya. I felt guilty being there sometimes. I don't know, I hate that. I feel so selfish. Yes, it was great, and yes, do I feel like I left an impact? Yes, but do I feel like I've done enough? No.
You'll never feel like
Talking
you've
to
done
someone
enough,
about
though.
Yes, I believe everybody has a calling. I think that you know what yours is, but you don't always choose to walk in it.
Agreed.
Wow.
That's probably self-sabotage.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
The one that you hear the songs of? Yeah.
I'm sad. I'm confident. I'm full of doubt.
Oh, that's cool. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, that one was, I feel like I had a permanent lump in my throat through most of that. I think that was a really beautiful documentary, and I wrote down a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. I think, first of all, her mentioning that she had this goal of somehow being a part of integrating therapy sessions or talk and emotions class, therapy class, whatever, incorporating that into the school system in a way that we are taught emotions when we're in kindergarten. And yeah, her mentioning that that just drops off after kindergarten, despite the fact that your emotions only become more confusing and complicated as you get older. And emotions are probably, they're just the most overwhelming too when you're in your middle and high school years. So I totally think I've never really thought about that before, about the idea that maybe that should be a class. Like that should be, you know, we have our health unit that focuses on the biology and our bodies and stuff, which doesn't really do much actually compared to what it could. But as far as like, yeah, mental health class being taught all through school would make, I think, such a big impact on humanity in general and generations to come. And it seems like such a simple thing when I think about it. Like, how is that not already something that is integrated into our school system? So I think it's really cool that she brought light to that idea. And I hope that by her bringing light to it, I imagine that this is already a topic that many people have talked about in like the political landscape. I don't know. I just think it's cool that she thought of that and backs that. It's a really cool thing to be a part of, and I would love to see that follow through. I think that would make a big difference. Her talking about feeling like a product, I feel like that was definitely, she talked about it when she was going through her interviews and her press, and everyone's asking her these dumb questions about like marshmallows and candy and her favorite color and all of that, when there's just so many more things that could be talked about that mean more. And knowing her, I feel like even just her brand, I feel like there's so many questions that, you know, she would be comfortable to talk about, and topics she would be comfortable to talk about that really mean something. And it seems really sad that a lot of people didn't bring that up, and then that woman actually bringing it up, and Selena Gomez in Paris, and Selena being like, oh, I really am passionate about philanthropy, and the Paris interviewer is like, well, that's good for me, bye. I completely understand Selena's feelings of feeling cheapened and feeling like a product, and her kind of being excited about, okay, they're asking me real questions and I'm getting an opportunity to answer about something that I think really matters, and they just shut her off and are like, okay, I got my quota, I got what I needed to get views from you. And yeah, that obviously would make Selena feel very cheap, but I also feel like even though in that case it's on a very like celebrity level of cheapness that I think celebrities can feel when it comes to press and how they're treated by the press and by the clicks and the internet and all of that sort of thing, even though that's a very niche celebrity feeling in some ways, of feeling like they're being cheapened to a product, I also feel like that feeling is easily felt on a normal everyday person's emotions and life, because I think a lot of the time as a human, like on a base human level, you just want to be heard by people. And I think sometimes people who don't have a platform or a voice, and are just, you know, who they are within their friends and their family and their inner bubble, they dream about actually being heard. They feel like they're not being heard. They feel like they have so much to say and they wish that they could have access to say it to the world. And then when that's given to you as a celebrity, the world doesn't want to hear what you have to say anymore. They just want to take what profits them. But I just think that wanting to feel heard is a very human thing. And whether that be stifled in a celebrity interview process or it be stifled in someone's every day-to-day life in a way that they feel like the people around them just don't care and no one cares about them, I just think that's a really human feeling. And it makes sense to me that Selena is able to ground herself in the basis of connection. And I think that's another really human solution, that a lot of people strive for when they feel disconnected, either from their family and friends, from the world at large, from themselves even. Finding a connection with someone else or something else can always ground you. And I have found that to be the case too. It's one of the reasons why one of the things I love about the internet, even though it's definitely a pro and a con at the same time, being able to find people that enjoy the same things that you do, enjoy the same music, enjoy the same movies. Like even a connection small like that, it's still a connection. And then being able to get to the grand scale that Selena has, where these connections that she's feeling with people are over things like mental health and suicide attempts and all of these very serious topics and terrible, heartbreaking topics. And moments in people's lives that they unfortunately are able to relate to each other over is really overwhelming. And I imagine that it is, even though it's hard for her to talk to these people about it and it's hard to hear these struggles, it's also something to remind you that we are all the same at the end of the day, and we're all struggling and we're all making it through. There was one conversation in this documentary that made me think a lot, and it was, I think, a conversation between Selena and her friend Raquel when they were in Kenya. And Selena was saying, she has anxiety over going back home, and she has anxiety over the press, and she has anxiety over going on her phone. And her friend was like, well, that is reality, being here in Kenya, that this is not reality. And Selena questioned that and said, well, what if this is reality, and all of that LA and the phones and internet and the everything else is what's not reality, and being here and feeling connection is reality. And Raquel was like, no, this is their reality, but the phones and the press and LA is your reality, and you need to understand that. And I felt really split about that conversation because I feel like it was very obvious to me that Selena felt very content and happy and connected with the world when she was in Kenya. And the reason for that comes in very varying different forms. I'm sure that's just only for her, only Selena will understand. I just think Raquel telling her, like, no, this can't be reality, this is not reality, is kind of, I'm not sure if I agree with that, because I think, like, why can't reality just be a moment in which we feel most alive? Why can't that be reality? Why does it have to be our typical 9 to 5? Why does it have to be what's normal for us? When we step out of the box, that's still our reality. When we learn new things, that's still our reality. If we decide to leave behind the phone in LA and Hollywood and go and dedicate all of our time to Kenya, that could become our reality. Reality is flexible and ever changing. And your reality, at the end of the day, also isn't real. It's all in your mind. So whatever you think is your reality, it is your reality, because that's what your mind is telling you, and that's what you're most connected with, is your mind. I don't know, I just think that topic of what is reality was really interesting to me. And it also kind of connects to what Selena said to the kids in the classroom at one point in this, where she was like, the only person who's going to stop you is yourself. And I think that is a major player in forming your own reality. So if, like, something makes you uncomfortable and you want to cut that off, you can cut that off. If Selena Gomez wanted to cut off social media and cut off Hollywood and never act or sing or do anything again, she could do that and make a new reality. Like, your reality is not set in stone. Your reality doesn't have to be a certain thing. It can be whatever you want it to be. I also thought it was very interesting. Something that I related to a lot was when she was talking about her guilt that she felt afterwards when it came to her trip to Kenya, and how she did feel like she left an impact, but she just didn't feel like she did enough. And in some ways, I don't think she said these words exactly, but this was the feeling that I was more getting from what she was saying, and what I've felt myself is, I think she felt like, oh, we brought the cameras there, we were there for a week, we did what we did, and then we left. Like, she feels kind of selfish in what she did. Like, yeah, it was an experience for me, and it opened up my eyes in doing these things, but, like, at the end of the day, what I did just doesn't feel like enough. I think that's just a big major theme in this movie, and in, unfortunately, a lot of people's lives, is not feeling like you're enough and what you're doing is enough. And even when you help in any sort of way, I feel like there is a guilt in me where it's like, okay, am I helping because I truly want to make this impact on other people and change the world? Or am I helping because I feel like it'll be good for me, which is selfish? Like, it'll make me feel better if I do this. It'll make me learn this. It'll make me do this and change that. Like, even when it comes to philanthropy and helping others in a big or small way, it definitely makes me question my motives of, okay, I know it's not bad to feel good about doing something good, but I also think it is really hard to find a completely selfless moment in life at this point in the world. It reminds me of a Friends episode where, like, I think Phoebe was like, had a bet with Joey where she was like, there's no good deed that is selfless. And he was like, trying to prove to her, yes, there is. And I think Phoebe ended up winning at the end of that bet. And it's kind of like, it was a joke in the episode, of course, like a little hee hee ha ha moment in Friends, but it's a real thing that I have thought about a lot. And so it was interesting for her to hear that from her, because for me, it's like, oh, I helped so and so today, but it made me feel really good. But I did also do it for them, but also made me feel good. So I feel a little selfish in this selfless, nice thing that I did, because did I do it because I just wanted them to profit off of it, or did I do it because I knew it would make me feel good too? Which, is there something wrong with that? I don't know. It's so complicated, but even hearing that kind of insecurity and worry in yourself from someone like Selena, who's a trip to Kenya working with reorganization and helping so many people, that feels like so out of this world extraordinary in terms of philanthropy to me, of something I've ever been able to do. And to hear that feeling of like, okay, I still haven't done enough. What am I doing? Is what I'm doing the best that I can? Is what I'm doing right? Still hearing that insecurity follows you even to the top of what you feel you can do for other people was really interesting to see. Yeah, this was a lot. Nothing really surprised me too much. Oh, the bipolar diagnosis. I do wonder. I don't know, I have a lot of knowledge. I wish they went a little bit more into the bipolar thing, but I can understand why they wouldn't want to fixate on that as like the major event of this movie, because it's much more than that. But I do wonder if bipolar disorder is something that people are born with, or if it's something that is inevitably formed in someone's mind based on their, scientific makeup, or if it's something that has some nature and nurture within it, where it can be caused or triggered by something in someone's life. I don't know. I don't know much about bipolar, and I am curious about that diagnosis in Selena and when exactly that happened. But overall, based on what I've seen from her doing interviews about this film, it does seem like, she is doing much better, but you can never know for sure, because there are a lot of moments in celebrity stories of their lives. Celebrities only show you what they want to show you. And if they want to create a certain narrative, a lot of the time they can create that narrative. But I don't know, there's something about Selena where I always feel that she is genuine, and sharing as much as she can. And I think it's really cool that she released this documentary. And I think it's going to be really a special thing to a lot of people. I think especially the talk about loneliness following COVID-19, COVID was very, very hard for everyone. Especially obviously those who suffer from the illness itself, but then the side effects of mental health that came with it for those who did and did not have to go through COVID themselves, the disease. Yeah, it was hard on a lot of people, especially people living alone and feeling alone more than ever during that time. So it feels like the perfect time for this documentary to be released, and I think it was a really special thing. And I would love to hear your thoughts on the documentary. If anything surprised you, or if you have any opinions about any of the major themes, I would love to hear them. If you're just a Selena fan and want to say hi, please do. I'm a Selena fan too, obviously. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some music next year. I think she mentioned that next year might be the year. So if she decides to drop some music and the song My Minded Me has any insight into what it's going to sound like, I'm very, very excited about it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.